So if you're looking for the best gaming chair, 3 things to consider are going to be ergonomics, quality, and comfort. So today I want to compare these 2 gaming chairs by Autofull and Dowinx and let you know which one works best. So when we talk about ergonomics, we're talking about how it supports your body. So do you have some back support? Do you have neck support? Do you have arm support? And in this case, both of these chairs are very, very similar. They're both going to have neck rests, which you can adjust a little bit. You can move it down or up, but because it is attached via this strap, there's only so much that you could do. And then same thing goes for the Dowinx, although because this one does have a bigger opening, you can argue you can move it a little bit higher and then tighten it so it could stay there. Both these are gonna have backrests, which are gonna be similarly sized. And as far as cushion goes, I feel like the Dowinx is gonna be a little bit squishier, whereas the Autofull is gonna feel a little bit firmer. But where these are gonna differ is gonna be with the Dowinx because it has one special thing that I wanna show you a little bit later. Now the armrests on the Dowinx and the Autofull are gonna be 4D, so you can maneuver them in various ways. But the Dowinx is going to have the upper hand because you can do one more thing that the Autofull can't. So for starters, they can both move inwards just by moving it in. And as you can tell, this one has a little bit more firmness versus this one is pretty loose, but this one has been worn in more, so that could be one of the reasons why. Another thing they both can do is move it upwards. So on the Autofull, we're going to have it right over here. On the outward side, we pull up, and then this is as high as it goes. Whereas on the Dowinx, it's also going to be here, but the buttons feels a little bit bigger, a little bit firmer, and as you can tell, it's going to be on the higher end. Now the Dowinx also does one more thing, which is actually move this forward and backwards, and it's going to be with this button. So when I hold the button, I can move this back or move it forward. You're also going to get foot support on both of these chairs because they do come with a footrest. So with the Autofull, you just pull it right out, then push this up, and then same thing goes for the Dowinx. And this one feels like it's a little bit easier to move in and out, whereas this one kind of feels a little bit tighter. So it's harder to move this one in than out, but you may be able to loosen the connection or maybe use some WD-40 so it feels a little bit smoother. When we take a closer look at the footrest, there is one thing that the Autofull beats the Dowinx in, and that's going to be cushion. Now, even though both of these are the same size, the Autofull is just going to be a little bit thicker, a little bit more cushioned than the Dowinx. Now I want to show you one more thing before addressing the elephant in the room, and that's going to be the recline, because both of these are going to be able to recline all the way back, and it's going to be on the right side here. So when I pull this forward, I can push this all the way down, and this is as far as it goes. Here, let me try. There, that's as far as it goes. This kind of looks like 180, although you are going to be lifted up. And then I can do the same thing for the Dowinx. And both the Autofull and the Dowinx recline all the way back. And taking a look at from this angle, we can see that the Autofull looks like it reclines a little bit more back than the Dowinx, but this can also be because the Dowinx is a little bit higher, it's a little bit taller, so it might be from that angle. Now when it comes to quality, you want to make sure you get something good so it actually lasts a long time. But when taking a look at both of these, that's where things start to differ. We can see a bit of discoloration on the Autofull. It's not as black as it once was compared to the Dowinx, but this has also been here for a few years. And now taking a look down here, this is where the most wear came out of. So I've never had a chair wear out quite like this, and it is exacerbated because of my cat, so he will get on this and he does scratch a little bit at it. So to prevent this, we put something else on top of it when we were using this, but it hasn't really held up the best. And another big indicator would be the armrest itself. So this armrest is actually quite fine. There's a few scratches, no big deal. But whereas this one it looks like somebody took a chunk out of this, and this just looks really worn, really bad, really ugly. On top of that too, the armrests do feel a little bit looser, but again, that could just be regular wear and it needs to be tightened, although I don't know how we can tighten this. And those would be the biggest complaints of the Autofull thus far. Now the Dowinx is a more recent chair, so there hasn't been a lot of time to actually give it some wear on it, but so far it looks very good, very clean. Again, everything is nice and tight on it, especially the armrests. And the overall stitching of this too just looks like it's a little bit thicker, and that could be because of the red color. But when you take a closer look at it, this stitching really pops out whether it was red or not in comparison to the Autofull. It just looks like this might be a little bit thinner of stitching, so that probably made it wear out a little bit quicker. And on top of it, the Dowinx is going to have some extra crosses on the bottom and on the backrest that just give it some extra rigidity all around. Now when it comes to comfort, both these offer different things depending on what you like. For example, if you like a more relaxed, a more open fit, then the Autofull will be much better. I feel like the wings, the back part is opened a little bit more, so I'm able to fit my shoulders nice and comfortably. On top of that, the armrests are going to be contoured to be able to fit your arms just a little bit neater, whereas the Dowinx, it's not going to have that. It's going to be a little bit narrower. On top of that, the armrests are going to be flat, but the part you might want to consider would be the back. So I feel like I'm supported, I'm squished a lot more. Now you may like this. Personally for me, I'd rather have it be a little bit more open so I could spread out a little bit more. But something much better about the Dowinx would be the seat cushion. It just feels a lot softer, a lot more comfortable. And on top of that, with the lumbar support, you do get one extra thing, and that's gonna be a massage lumbar support. So it comes with this cable. You just have to connect it to your computer or to an outlet, and it begins massaging you. It's basically vibrating, and it's like a nice feel in your lower back. Now you can't stop this. You can't raise it, you can't decrease it. The only way to turn it off would be to disconnect it. So overall, I'm gonna give it to the Dowinx. This is the gaming chair that replaced this one. This is the one we have in that room now. My brother uses, and he also does prefer this one over this one. But hopefully this helped you choose which gaming chair is best for you.